Good morning. So your customers are already interacting with your online channels every day. The question is, are you actually taking advantage of those opportunities that are created there? Are you driving sales and customer loyalty and customer satisfaction? That's where Unblu would come in. It's our vision to provide an in-person experience online using your digital channels. And what that means is we're going to run you through real quick in a simple use case, showing you how you can engage with your clients in your online channels, just the same way that you would in a retail branch, discovering opportunities and driving sales to closure. So with that, over to Luc.
So to set the scene, I'm going to be the agent at the bank, and Jens is going to be my customer. Jens is a big fan of motorcycles, and he has just spotted a great vintage bike at a local dealer. Now, the dealer is only holding on to it for 24 hours, so Jens needs to be quick in figuring out how to finance it.
So you see that wonderful motorbike right there? It's about 20 grand, and what I do is I'm on my way home, using my mobile app, my mobile banking app, to check out what my current account balance is, and you can clearly see the current account balance wouldn't support the purchase. So the good thing is that my bank here has a situational analysis. I can see that I could apply for a loan, so I go into the loan section, and I look at all of the options that I've got here, and there's a bunch of questions that, of course, now that I want the loan, I want to make sure that I fill this out correctly. So they're asking me about how many dependents are living in my household, and I'm not quite sure whether my mother-in-law counts as a dependent or not. So what do? I call my bank for help in order to find out. So there's a little call button up here. We have that call button. Now, I'm not going to call Luc because he's right next to me. He would be my bank agent. But I want to point your attention to the co-browse button right here that we're going to use in due course. Luc?
All right, so thank you for calling. The easiest way for me to assist Jens on the mobile device is by co-browsing. So I'm going to give him a PIN, that's 2032. And I'm going to immediately join him on his device. Now, important to mention here is that what we're doing here is not just co-browsing web content, but it's co-browsing a native app. So you can co-browse any app that you have developed natively, also with Unblu. Now let's get back to the scene with Jens. So I have seen that Jens has put in the wrong number of dependents, and I'm clicking here and highlighting to Jens that he should change the dependents to 1. Now let's switch to my device. We're already on my device. So you can see it's extremely comfortable for me to support Jens in that situation. I don't have to play 20 questions with Jens to figure out where he's at in the application or what he has filled in, but I can dive into it and see what Jens is doing.
Wonderful. So in my side, obviously, it's a very comfortable experience as well. I don't have to explain where I am in the application. I think everyone kind of knows that situation. You're trying to explain to a rep what you see, and he doesn't see the same thing. I can actually move around, and you can see how this is moving around. You can see my touch feedback. And of course, since we're natively integrated, if I change over the device,
exactly, to the agent, yeah.
Then you can see how this is switching around. Now, one more important point is all privacy protection. So what we do, if you go to the home screen, you'll see that you get a blackout on the agent screen as well, if it's coming around. And synchronizes. So right now it's not coming around. Here you are. So that we're actually just capturing the output of the mobile device as you co-browse. We're actually not getting any of the private content that is on the mobile phone, which would be quite scary given all the information that we keep on those mobile phones. So that's wonderful. I go back into the app, and it comes right back. I thank Luc for the help that I got in the interaction, and I end the co-browsing conversation because I'm not quite prepared to take out a loan of 20K in my mobile device. But I do know what the rate is. I got informed. It's kind of the on-ramp to the transaction. Now, if I go over into my laptop view, please, here, as the client, I go back into the online banking application. And in the online banking application, you've got the same view. It's in the evening. I'm more settled down. I'm ready to make a transaction as I really set my mind on that motorbike, and I want to drive that transaction to closure and buy that thing. So I fill out the same loan form here. I know the number of dependents to fill in. And I'm ready to at least contemplate whether I would want to do the transaction or not. As I'm doing this, there's a situational analysis, and the bank triggers a conversation, a chat conversation, and suggests that, hey, do you want to engage with us since you're about to fill out this loan? So I say, yes, okay, let's engage right here. That's perfect, sounds good.
So I am taking the chat request from Jens, and I'm going to add video chat to it. So to make the whole thing a little more personal. And also, I'm going to add co-browsing. So I'm going to ask Jens whether it's OK to co-browse. He's approving. That's fine. So I'm on the page with him. Now, Jens, if you would fill out the form a little more, go down right here and fill out the form so we get a little calculation of the loan. Now, you can see that I can click on some fields and I get a little lock sign. So this field is protected for compliance reasons. And so I'm asking Jens, because that number looks quite a little high for a bike, to correct the loan number. So click on here, mark on that. And the next field is fine for me. I can choose used cars because bike falls into used cars. Now, on the left side with Jens, you're seeing there's a calculation. Notice there is no button. Now let's switch to my screen again as the agent. I have the calculation as well, but I also have a button on my screen. So what we're doing here is we're augmenting the bank application with an additional functionality to make the sales move stronger. So I can click that button, and I can get a calculation, and I'm convinced that Jens is now going to be fine to close the loan.
Wonderful. So let me then close the transaction here. I can press the Send Application button. That's a button that Luc can't press. And I can drive directly to closure. So let me just recap real quick what you saw here. You saw that we actually have the opportunity to create an opportunity for the bank through real-person interaction on a mobile device. And you can then conclude the transaction, create a compelling event in your existing systems to drive to closure. With that, thank you very much for your attention, and see you at our booth.